Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So I want to do an update video. So about a week ago or something like that, I made a video titled League of Legends is unplayable and why I'm uploading less journey episodes. I talked about League of Legends, why it's unplayable, why the game just feels like it's hard to just really enjoy, and it's not because it's the game's fault, you know, and I explained the reasons. If you haven't seen the video, highly recommend checking it out. I'll link it down below. But again, a TLDR was essentially the fact that the toxicity in the game and the player base and the player behavior, all that stuff, has not only just been severely downgrading, and it's just been getting severely more and more toxic with every week, it feels like at this point, honestly. But Riot has also been doing next to nothing about it. They keep saying they're going to do things. They keep adding these completely trivial things, whatever. So that's essentially what I talk about. It's a TLDR. I'm not going to reiterate that. Now, I want to talk about, so we talked about the issue with League and why it's unplayable, but we didn't talk about what's causing this issue. Like, why is everyone being toxic? Why is all this happening? Like, what's the reason? And in this video, guys, I want to talk about this more in depth with you. I want to talk about why this is happening, why Riot is, why League of Legends is becoming more and more toxic, more and more unplayable, why people are just becoming more and more flamey, all that kind of stuff. Like, what's causing it, or at least what I believe is causing it. The number one like thing, if you will, that is causing League of Legends to deteriorate into this like super like toxic mess, if that makes sense. And it's quite simple. I have a notepad I'll pop up very soon to show you guys the reasoning and everything, but the number one reason that I personally believe that's pretty much the roots of the problem, that's really, in my opinion, causing these issues, causing everyone to just have their mental just completely implode, myself included, of course, is autofill. Let me explain. So autofill, I believe, is one of the worst things that have been added to League of Legends. And I'm pretty passionate about why I dislike autofill. The way I view autofill is I view it as being a temporary kind of half-assed, lazy bandage fix to the overall problem of what League of Legends is, you know, with the queues and all that kind of stuff. I overall think it is an absolute horrendous addition to the game. Now, let me explain why. So, the reason I think autofill is the issue is because if someone, okay, so taking a step back, if someone is tilted, if someone's upset about the game quality, why would they normally be upset? They're probably upset because someone on their team is probably just running it down, playing it really poorly, making the game next to impossible to win. Now, from what I've seen at least, more often than not every single time, but more often than not, the reason someone might be underperforming and playing severely bad is because they're autofilled. They are autofilled. They are on a roll that they have no idea how to play. And this gets exponentially worse the higher elo you go. Like, imagine if a support player in Challenger gets autofilled to jungler or to jungle. They have no idea how the hell to play support. Or jungle, rather. They have no idea how to play jungle. It's not even one of their top two roles. They queue, let's say, support AD carry. Now they're playing jungle. Unlucky. And they're facing like Tarzan or some shit in the jungle. I mean, there's a high chance Tarzan is probably going to wipe the floor with them. And they're going to just completely get outclassed. And they're just going to get completely destroyed. They're probably going to lose the game because of that, because jungle has very high impact in solo queue, you know, early to mid, very, very important role. And that's kind of the issue. And because that person's inting, because that person is just getting severely outclassed, and it's not even their fault necessarily, what do you want them to do? Well, everyone on their team is going to have a bad time. That person is going to have a horrendous time. Everyone on their team is going to flame the hell out of that guy. And it's just going to result in just maybe one person will defend them, which will result in this just back and forth, constant toxicity battle over and over and over. And this is kind of like one example. And this is kind of what I believe really kind of is the root problem and why everyone gets toxic. Because someone gets autofilled, they underperform, causes the game to be unwinnable, causes the game to be literally just unplayable because they have no idea what they're doing. They're getting severely outclassed, and the game is over. And again, this happens every time, whether it's on your team or the enemy team. Like, almost every game I play, like 8 or 9 out of 10 games are just really, really, really one-sided. One team is just completely decimating the other team. And that's usually just how it goes. And it's really obnoxious with autofills. Like, it's just unplayable. It truly is. Now, I want to go over, so that's kind of what I believe is the main issue, autofill. They need to fix it, and they need to either remove it or fix it. I actually have some suggestions, some solutions potentially on how to fix autofill, or at least what I personally believe the way autofill should be implemented or at least changed around to make more sense and not just be this kind of lame-ass bandage solution of just like, oh, okay, well, we don't have enough players queuing up in this role, so let's just shove someone from this other role onto this role that they have no idea how to play and force them to play something they don't want to play and force them into a game where they're probably going to get outclassed because the other person on that role is not autofilled and they're just going to get destroyed. And the game is unplayable. And it's just stupid. Let's go into the changes. Let's go into the fixes. Let me explain to you guys what I personally believe is the solution, or at least some of the potential solutions that you can have for autofill. So, option A, just remove the damn thing. Just remove it. Get it out of my system. I don't want to see it. It sucks. Having to play 2 roles already, in my opinion, should be enough. Personally, I think you should be able to just be able to play 1 role. Obviously, that's, probably not going to be good enough to, for queues and stuff, things like that. So, okay, think of it this way. If this system is so bad that not only do you have to learn 2 roles, but you also have to adapt and play this autofill role that will every 3-4 games or whatever you'll be put into, that kind of makes me wonder, what if just from the ground up, the actual skeleton, like the base system itself of the way their queue works and the way their roles in the League of Legends work, what if that's just the issue this whole time? What if just the way the role system works is just the problem, right? Before they used to say, well, no one queued up support, so we have to autofill people. Okay, well, maybe what if you just made support an actual fun role to play? What if the support role just didn't suck ass? Thankfully, it's actually not bad. I think the support role is quite fantastic right now, to be completely honest with you. But what if the roles just didn't suck to play? Then maybe you wouldn't have this issue to begin with. Just a food for thought. Anyways, moving on. So, option A, remove the damn thing. Probably not ever going to happen, ever. I just don't see that happening ever. So let's just figure out, okay, well, how do we take the current system with autofill and how do we make it something that's actually playable? Something that's just understandable. Like, it makes more sense. Here's my solution. So, each team should have the same number of autofills. That's the number one thing, the very base thing to do. Number one thing to do. Each team should have the same number of autofills. There are definitely games where I play where one team will have 1 or 2 autofills and the other team has none. I've played games like that. I'm sure you guys have as well. Why? I don't know. That should never happen. Ever. It should never, ever happen. That is just it's honestly just really, really cringe. The teams should have the same number of autofills almost every single time. But it's not that simple, like you see here. Because, well, you have to take into account... Sorry, let me get a quick sip of water. Sorry, guys. I was eating chocolate. Anyway, the autofill type must be weighed properly. So, for instance, if a support player is autofilled into the jungle, would you personally consider that to be the same? So, okay, how about this? On your team, you have a support player, a support main, autofilled jungle. They literally don't play jungle. They have no idea. They play 1 jungle game every 6 months or something like that, let's say. And now they're autofilled in the jungle. And then you queue into the game, and you see the enemy team, they have 1 autofill as well. Okay, cool, 1 autofill, 1 autofill. That's fair, right? Not always. The enemy team's autofill is a mid laner, autofill top lane. Is that fair? Would you consider that game to be fair? Is that autofill on the both teams fair? No, it's absolutely not. Mid lane, you can transfer a lot of skills from mid lane to top lane. They're both solo lanes. Sure, the champion pool is different, but it's not a completely different role. Support, playing jungle, completely different playing field. It's not even the same role. I mean, it's not even the same game of this. It's just, you're not even playing League of Legends, the same League of Legends. It's completely different. Jungle is a unique role, super, super different. And especially a support player playing jungle, or an AD carry, maybe even player playing jungle, the champions aren't even the same. Okay, thankfully, maybe Morgana's meta, you can play Morgana, but the champions aren't even close to being the same, right? It's so different. So, if Team A has an autofill jungler, at the very least, Team B should also have an autofill jungler, or mid laner, or top laner, whatever, right? Not only do you have to have the same number of autofills, in my opinion, but it should be the same role. Both teams should have an autofill jungler. Both junglers should have no clue what the hell they're doing, in my opinion, at least. That makes it fair, I think, personally. Having an autofill support on Team B and an autofill jungler on Team A is not the same. Now, if you want to take it an even step further and really dig into this, then here's my other solution, even further based on this. Based on the history that the player has in the autofill role. How well has this person performed in X autofill role? Take it into account. So, for instance, if the Team B's autofilled top laner has performed consistently well while autofill top lane or while playing top lane, but Team A's autofill top laner, right, assuming they're both autofill top lane this time, both teams have 1 autofill, they're both top lane. Cool, that's pretty good. Which, I mean, honestly, even that alone should be, I think, a good change. But if you want to take a step further to make it as fair as possible, if that makes sense. If Team A's autofill top laner has, based on their history, which Riot, I'm sure, can tell pretty easily, has pretty much inted or just severely underperformed 90% of their top lane games, then that's also kind of an issue. because they're both autofill top lane, but one top laner has consistently performed as an autofill top laner. Maybe they're picking like a simple champion like Malphite and just kind of, you know, being there as a support type champion, if you will, as opposed to the other top laner that's autofill playing Fiora like every single game, just literally going 0-6 like almost every game, like 8 out of 10 games, let's say. I mean, now you have a little bit of another issue. Now that's suddenly not as balanced anymore, right? So that's this right here, I would say, is like the cherry on the cake if this ever happens. Is it necessary? Probably not. However, I think this right here is absolutely necessary. This at the very least is necessary. At the very least. Like the bare minimum, in my opinion. This should happen, in my opinion, as well. The autofilled people on both teams need to be autofill to the same number of autofills and to the same role, at the very least, in my opinion. That's what I think. I don't know. That's my humble opinion. I don't know. I've been playing this game since season 1. I've been seeing a lot of things happen based on playing this game for as long as I have. That's what I personally think should be changed. Is it possible to change? I don't know. I mean, who knows? I'm not sure. Maybe for some reason it's not even possible to accomplish. I have no idea. But I personally think this should happen, hopefully. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Again, I personally think autofill is one of the root problems of League of Legends and what's causing the toxicity, making everyone rage, causing people to underperform, which results in, of course, a lot of rage, hate, all that kind of stuff, and just a lot of tilting one-sided games. And this is my solution to fix it. So let me know what you guys think about it down below. I would love to have this, you know, another nice discussion video. The first video we uploaded, the one behind, you know, the notepad, good reception. People seem to really enjoy it, resonate with it. People had, you know, good discussion in the comments. I like that. So hopefully we can do the same as well. Let me know what you guys think down below. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully Riot starts doing these kind of things. I personally think it will help a lot. Again, this is one of many problems, but I personally think this is the biggest problem to fix, personally. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Hopefully Riot sees this. Maybe they'll take this into account. Maybe they already have. I don't know. I don't have any insider information. But thank you all so much for watching. See you guys for the next one. Peace, peace, peace.